are streaming live now, back again. Episode 3.5.6.2. Evan is covering up with his micro consoles for the next topic that we're
Oh,
going to
did
talk
someone say micro consoles? Hey, let's talk about nostalgia and video games.
about. Brilliant.
Sorry.
So I didn't have much to say with the game of the year topic this year because the three games that I've played this year that I really enjoyed that came out this year that I bought: Runner 3, Octopath Traveler, and Dragon Quest 11.
Hmm.
All of those games are heavily laden with not only nostalgia but sort of old school gaming concepts, I guess. Um, I mean, Dragon Quest never changes, and Octopath is definitely a throwback to Final Fantasy VI to a certain extent, but also the Saga Frontier games. So, I mean, that was what I was interested in. And when Keith brought this topic up on Sifted, I was really interested to talk about like how nostalgia affects not only the games we play, but how I guess the industry plays on nostalgia to get us to spend our money.
Hmm.
So maybe Keith, maybe you can give us some of the stuff that you were thinking about when you brought up the topic.
Well, yeah, like I called it, the title is Money for Your Memories. And it's interesting how many micro consoles, and I've listed them out. So only some of them though. So some of the more prominent ones. There's a whole heap of other ones out there, like the micro arcades. There's hundreds of those things.
Oh, yeah,
But,
even that Neo Geo one
yeah,
is getting like a Christmas edition. Do you see that?
yeah,
No, I didn't
You know,
see
you know
that.
the Neo
yeah,
Geo
I
like the
saw
mini
that.
cabinet, the cabinet
Right,
there.
right, right.
Yeah,
They're releasing a special edition where the cabinet is like Christmas themed. I'm like, why
That's
Christmas and Neo Geo? Like, I don't.
it's a bit retarded, but okay.
yeah. Uh, Everyone was so
I don't know.
shocked that it's
I don't
frozen
get
in
it.
time. So we've got the um, NES, SNES, which is how we say SNES
SNES.
in SNES. Yeah. You've got the Atari box coming out. You've got the Commodore 64. There's the Neo Geo, which you just mentioned. And then we've
Hmm.
got the super duper PlayStation Classic.
I don't know if there's anything super duper about that micro console.
Slightly ironic. And then you've got the Sega Mega Drive, which you guys call the Genesis.
Right.
Um, and that one, I think, particularly doesn't make sense in the fact that you've already got the compendium of games that you can buy for PlayStation, Xbox, and soon to be Nintendo Switch. So
Yeah.
why would you need a micro console of
Hmm.
with a compendium of games that you're already selling on other platforms? But anyway, and then you've got your re-releases, your remakes, and your re-releases. Evan, I don't know if you've heard of a game called Shadow of the Colossus,
No.
but how many times have you bought that game now?
Three.
Yeah. So
Originally on PS2, the collection,
PS3
the Eco
remaster.
Shadow collection, and then the remake. Yeah, the PS4 remake. Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
Bought it three times, and I think I've gone back because who knows what happened to my PS2 copy that I bought back in 2005, but I've repurchased the game just so I can put it on a shelf, and then I put that shelf behind me, and then like do like YouTube reviews, like all my cool games.
Your wall of video games behind you.
Yeah, yeah. It's like everyone has like the same shelf. It's like it's funny because there's so much money behind there, but the more people that do it, the less unique the videos look. But anyways,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So yeah, that I mean, there are specific games that for to get, and Shadow of the Colossus is one of them. But
The fact that Evan has purchased that game three times pales in comparison to the number of times that I've purchased and repurchased Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
how many? Like can you list them off the top of your head?
Yeah, so I bought it originally, right? I then lost that version. I bought a
Mm.
greatest hits version. I then lost that version. Um, Eventually purchased it on PSN
Mm-hmm.
for PS3. I bought it on PC when the Steam version came out. I then found another disc version that I bought, and then it came out for PS4, so then I purchased it for PS4. So six
Mm.
times at least.
That's a lot. Well, that's only
And it's coming out for
because you keep
Switch. And it's coming out for
using it.
Switch, so I'll probably buy it for Switch too.
Are you gonna get it again?
Yeah, probably because it'll be on Switch and I can play it when I'm sitting in bed in my
Do
pajamas.
you have you played through it each time you've repurchased it?
No, that's the fucked up part about it. I still
Mm.
buy it every time, and I never play through it every time I buy it. Like I just buy it for.
Okay, right.
What was
So
that? You know, there was the film where Patrick Stewart's a CIA officer and Mel Gibson is someone who's been brainwashed. Uh,
Wait,
mhm.
conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy theory. It seems like you've got the thing where they conditioned Mel Gibson that he has to go and buy a copy of Wikipedia.
Yeah, this is true.
yeah, so like you go on the loose and they just like check your credit card. He's like, oh, he's purchased another edition of Final Fantasy VII. He's at the bookstore on the corner
uh,
of like Fifth and National. Mm,
it's a good way to put it,
I
I
would say
guess.
I wouldn't just because JRPGs are so long. I think it's fine like that you haven't played through the game just because of how long they are. But so it's slightly different than let's say like a Capcom beat 'em up collection where it's just you can get through those games rather quickly, and
Right.
so it's just if you could say like I've repurchased that 5 times and beat it every single time, it's like well yeah because it's a 2 or 3 hour game. But you bought that didn't you, Keith? That
Yeah,
Capcom beat 'em up
oh,
collection.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, they're great. And I own Final Fight 4 times now. I bought that game 4 times.
Nice.
So yep, I just wish well, so for me, I don't often purchase re-releases, but if there's remakes, then I'll tend to buy them, just because I'm not. Or a lot of this stuff, like I haven't even opened this. I just want it because of the form factor, and
Right.
then like the Famicom Mini, I bought it around Christmas, brought it over to my friend's house. We messed around with it that night, and it's just kind of been sitting on my shelf ever since. And same with the Super Famicom. I just like the form factor. It looks nice on my shelf. I don't necessarily need to go back and play a lot of these games.
And this is one of the things that I was going to get into
Yeah.
because a lot of these games were designed in a different era, and when you take your nostalgia goggles off, a lot of the game mechanics um, don't really hold up now.
I would
But
say with 2D games, way more they hold up
yeah,
way more so than let's say the PlayStation Classic. Like yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get one. By the way,
I'm not either because I don't have enough
no,
of the games that are relevant on that system.
and like you were saying, Keith, that era especially is way harder to go back to than just say a platform world or something that still controls amazingly even today. Just when in the early realm of 3D when they were trying to figure out this stuff, they just like jumping flash. Like how long, even if you had one, how long are you going to play jumping flash
That game was
before
shit
you
when it
switch
was
games? You
released.
know.
yeah, well, I wouldn't get one. And I,
Okay.
out,
Go
out of
ahead.
the out of the list of stuff, I have bought the Sega Mega Drive collection, and I'll buy that again when it gets released on for Switch because
Mm.
those games would be absolutely brilliant to play on the go.
Yeah.
But other than some other stuff, um, I bought Full Throttle last year when that got its remake, because that game is just freaking awesome. And the soundtrack for that by the Gone Jackals, that's great. That nearly made me buy their album with the intro song in it, which the name of which is escaping me right now. So that's quite possibly one of the best intros to a video game ever. Anyway, back on topic. I bought the remake of Grim Fandango, and that reminded me why I didn't like that game the first time round.
That game's hard.
Yeah. I don't want to have to play it with a guide open next to me. I want to be able for me to play through the game.
You almost have to, though, yeah.
Yeah. I had to do that with Broken Sword, and it just wasn't fun. But for me, if it was kind of real nostalgia, it would have to be a Amstrad home computer mini. You guys probably don't even know what Amstrad is, but it was a computer company set up by Alan Sugar.
Similar to a Sinclair, right? Like a ZX?
Newer.
Okay.
More recent. And the games on that, there was a Street Fighter rip-off where there was one guy who, trying to play, because they didn't have controllers for these things, so trying to play a fighter using a keyboard and mouse was quite interesting. So that would be a really good way to prove that games have moved on and certain things should remain in the past.
Right. So, yeah, and a lot of people just don't go back and play old games. You hear people like, "Oh yeah, I play Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past once a year, at some point in the year. It's just a ritual that I have." It's like most people don't do that. So, I think the mini console thing is actually pretty genius because it gives it it gives it the form factor of nostalgia that you can actually hold. It's a tangible thing. So instead of just buying Final Fantasy VII for $7, you can play it on the original PlayStation sitting on the shelf. So like I get why they've packaged these things, and I've been suckered into buying 3 of them.
Right. No, I think.
Didn't you say that with one of them, the controller is actually? Is it not? It's like they've shrunk the controller as well. So.
Well, yeah, because the Famicom, the controllers slid into the side of the systems. That's how you put the controllers away. So when they made the system smaller, they also made the controllers smaller, so that they could still slide into the sides of the system. But the controls are like comically small, for like little baby hands, and it's just like it's really hard to play.
The baby controllers.
Fuck. Like, look at how small this controller is.
Oh my god, that's...
Look at that. Because it, here's the system. It slides in, so you can have... Can I just get this out of the way? The Famicom is a fucking ugly ass system. This thing is gross looking.
It looks like a model from an early Star Trek episode.
Yeah, it's look, and then look, the controllers are hardwired into the back of the system, and they're they're not that long, so because it's the back of the system, you're losing this much length because it has to come from the back of the system. So by the time you get it in your hand, I mean, it's ridiculous how short this is.
Can we just appreciate how much effort has gone into recreating that at scale?
Sure, I will give it that. It's sad. I actually bought a cardboard box that's looks like the Famicom disk system.
Nice. Okay.
And there's nothing in there. You can actually, but I set it on top so it looks like the Famicom on the Famicom disk system.
All right.
And I never play it. I mean, it's kind of a...
You bought that separately?
I bought it separately, yeah. Some company knew that people like me would be suckered into getting it. So they probably made it. It's just cardboard. they made it for nothing, and then it was just there in the store for like $12 or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna
You
buy
bought
that.
a cardboard box for $12.
It looks like the Family Computer Disk System.
12
It
bucks
looks
is
like
a bit much.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking, Keith, maybe we should combine the pet rock with some type of other thing that we can sell to people. Like,
Yeah, basically, right?
right?
Does your pet rock play? Would you buy a pet rock if it played Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, absolutely. I did want to point out the fact that I have almost 40 hours in Atari Vault on Steam.
Oh my gosh. Are you
So,
okay? So I've been suckered into these micro consoles. Have you guys purchased any, or are there ones on there that you are thinking about getting?
I've got a micro console, and I think both of you've got a micro console as well. It's called the Nintendo Switch.
Hmm.
yeah, there's a lot
Um,
of Neo Geo games on there.
yeah,
I've purchased, I think, two maybe.
I did spend the $20 to get the Nintendo Online, so that means I have the Nintendo or NES Classic stuff that they're releasing. Which in December will be nice to be able to play Metroid again, but
Yeah, I've I'm still on the fence about that. I mean, it's fairly cheap, but
you know what? I spent the $20 for the year, so whatever happens, happens the next year. Like if they don't improve it by the end of what September of next year, then
hmm,
that's it. They just won't get another $20 out of me.
sure, that makes yeah, that's fine. It's not that much money. I mean,
But I would love to play River City Ransom with you guys, or
see,
the what's the Famicom version called?
uh, Nek Neketsu something something Kunio-kun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I downloaded the Famicom online app, which apparently works. If you download that app and purchase the US version, you can still play both. You just have to have a different account in different regions.
yeah. But other than my Switch, I don't have a micro console. Um,
okay. Is
I
there
think
any?
even if they brought out a N64 Mini, I still probably wouldn't get one. Even if it had GoldenEye on it, I still probably wouldn't get it.
Well, that game probably controls like garbage now. There's also that. Yeah, like for me, I'm slightly different than probably most people that buy these consoles, or maybe not. I yeah, like I said, I buy them for the factor. I've barely played them. But uh, Matt, you said that you spent like how many hours on that? What Atari game was that?
The Atari Vault. It's a collection of 100 Atari games on Steam.
Okay,
I've
so
spent
if that
I've spent 40 hours in it, just about.
wow, so if that Paleo Gaming, huh? You like Paleo Gamer?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of it's Missile Command, actually.
sure. So what about this Atari mini console that if it ever even comes out, like are you interested in getting it? Do you care about the form factor of these nostalgia machines?
Yes and no.
Hmm.
Um, it really it's really, for me, it's all about the price point, right? So the PlayStation Classic, if that had come out for $50, I would have bought one. But
Yep,
the fact that it's
I think
coming
that.
out for 100, and the games that they're releasing with it, I'm like, nah, fuck that. I don't care.
Hmm.
I had an idea about this, and I asked the question when it was being talked about on Game Face, and I think PlayStation and Sony are missing a bit of a trick here, because you know the memory card slots. Whilst they've recreated them, wouldn't it be just think about this for a sec? So they're releasing these preloaded games, and we can debate the shitness of the list or whatever. But
Right.
what about if they turn those memory card slots into flash drives,
Hmm.
and you could go and you could buy new, or new re-release So you could get these memory cards shaped flash drives with individual games on.
I will do one better. Just give it a fucking network connection. Let it connect online and let you buy all
See,
the
but
shit on
that loses
PSN.
the nostalgia, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Matthew? You
Well,
need to be able to go and buy the memory card
you could do both, or you
to
could just force,
relive the thing.
or you could
Yeah,
just force
to
somebody to buy
relive the,
a little tiny memory card to save their game.
yeah.
Well, it's the same thing like at these mini consoles. Like they don't come with a USB adapters. Like you have to buy them separately, and
Right.
they've like for each version, the Famicom Mini and the Super Famicom Mini, they've sold Nintendo USB adapters for a shit ton of like way more than they should be, just because it has the nice little Nintendo logo on there, and it comes in the nice box that matches the box that the system itself comes in. So like it's something that they could totally do if they package it in a really nice PlayStation 1 memory card box. People would totally buy that.
Yeah,
It's people that will buy that.
yeah.
Or they could
It depends on how much it would cost design, and then
right.
put the additional game on it and use it as an external flash drive
Yeah.
to run it. But I just thought as soon as I saw that, the idea came into my head that, oh, are PlayStation going to have an ongoing library of PS1 games that you can purchase on memory card shaped flash drives that you plug into your PlayStation Classic? But
Yeah,
no, they're just a piece of plastic with memory card slot written on it.
Mm.
and it's a good idea, and I was slightly hostile towards you, Keith, and I apologize. The reason being
Sure.
is because I would probably purchase those because I buy physical Switch games specifically because they're physical,
Mm.
you know.
And even if it had Final Fantasy preloaded on it, if they released a Final Fantasy VII
Oh, dude,
flash drive,
if they released Final Fantasy 8, like I'd be all over that shit.
yeah,
I'd be like, this is not, you can't get this anywhere else except on Steam. So yeah, I'm gonna buy this.
well, they missed the trick. They should have asked me. I should have been in that meeting.
Right.
Just weren't there.
So, all right, getting off of micro consoles, what about re-releases and remakes? How do you guys feel about that stuff? Have you bought any this year? We got Spyro, the Reignited trilogy just came out. Crash Bandicoot, the Insane
Okay,
trilogy.
okay.
Am I missing any?
Like, can you include Shadow of the Colossus in there? It's a remake.
Yeah.
Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is also a remake.
Or Kiwami, the regular one, right?
Oh, that came out this year in the States, I think, right?
I think
Maybe.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Like the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro trilogies, like for some reason they just don't interest me. I don't know why. Actually, I've never played Spyro. I
No,
didn't play
neither
it
have
back
I.
in the day.
What?
Yeah,
Get off this
I played the
podcast.
shit out of Crash Bandicoot, but for some reason I never. It seemed like it's like one of those games that's like, how did I pass up Spyro when I was a kid? But yeah, I did for some strange reason. I can't explain.
I'm
I don't remember
One
surprised you
why.
reason that I'm not
did,
going to
yeah.
buy. One reason I wouldn't buy the Spyro Reignited. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Reignited
Yeah.
trilogy.
Um, is how Activision are selling it. So if you were to buy a disc, you get the original Spyro on the disc, and then the other two games are download only.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
That's
that.
weird.
That's stupid. I hate that.
Yeah.
That's the
If you
reason. That's the
compare,
reason I haven't bought the Banner Saga trilogy on Switch, because only the first or second game or whatever is on the cartridge.
Seems like Bayonetta 2 in Japan. It's like the Bayonetta 1's like I believe
It's only
download only,
it's only download.
and then Bayonetta 2 is a physical copy. Yeah. Mm,
Wow, I didn't know that about the PS4 though.
yeah, so screw you, Activision.
Yeah, no, fuck them. I'm not gonna buy that. I was going to, but I didn't know that. So yeah.
But in terms of like re-releases versus remakes, like I said, I don't tend to go back to games after I play them, even if they're older. Like decades old. But I like remakes just because it's a reason to play a game because it's the game that you love essentially in a different skin. So like with Shadow of the Colossus, it's like, oh, I get to play this well, on the Pro, they're shooting for 60 frames per second in their
Right.
performance mode. And it's like I was looking forward to exploring the world that I explored so much and seeing how, all of the colossi that I've taken down, like time after time, how they all look in like a beautiful new engine. And so I was looking forward to seeing how they look, and so that was my motivation to play through that game, and I loved it. It was amazing to go into that world. Same thing with the Yakuza game. It's like if they released all the old games in the new engine, I'd totally play it because I want to see what those places, look like,
Right.
and with a like a 2018 skin on them.
It's a fresh coat of paint.
A fresh coat of paint, yeah. 2018 skin. Who am I like? Uh,
Can you trade that on CS:GO?
yeah, skin. 2018 skin. Who am I thinking of? Ed Gein. Who am I? Ed Gein.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Well, I'm going to anyway, so fuck it.
You have my
Why,
permission.
why don't you think EA are jumping all over this?
I don't know why EA doesn't release more Game of the Year editions of their shit. And why they don't do remasters or remakes. It blows my fucking mind. I would buy a Mass Effect trilogy for PS4 today if they released it. And
We're talking about EA, so everyone's gone.
it's just out. But like, no,
Yeah.
seriously though, like, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, of course. There's
Right? Like,
if they remade say Madden 2000 when it was actually fun and not just a microtransaction fueled piece of shit,
right?
I'd buy that. If they remade or remastered the Mass Effect trilogy, especially with the fact that they've said now that Andromeda is basically killed that franchise, why wouldn't you just go back and feed off
Oh,
people's
dude,
nostalgia?
I don't even
Why
want
wouldn't
I don't even want a remaster or a remake. I just want a port. If they ported those
just
games
port?
it's just a port. If they ported those games to the PS4, I'd fucking buy that package. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think the only way for me would be to get an Xbox One X, and then you can play the original trilogy with X
Right?
enhancements.
Yeah, and I've thought about that specifically for Mass Effect. Like, I
Yeah,
thought about
but I
buying.
can't justify spending 400 quid just to play Mass Effect
I
trilogy.
can't either, but I've thought about it. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
well, if I did this, or there's the PC versions, but I have to fucking go to Origin or whatever to get 3.
Yeah,
You know, like, yeah.
because the Evan's doing his cleaning.
All right, there we go.
Oh wow,
He's
who's that handsome bastard?
but he
Oh, we can't
lost
hear
his
you now.
audio.
You clean.
Okay, sorry. You
clean the screen.
Dude, that was bothering the shit out of me. I'm like, why is it so fucking cloudy? My greasy ass thumb. That's why. All right. Sorry.
I like the Windex.
Yeah. Yeah. Magic clean.
Magically.
Magic clean. Glass magic clean.
That's
Like
yeah, it's Windex.
Magic.
That's what it looks
It's
like.
Windex. Sorry, you guys done with EA? Or are you still talking about EA?
No,
Yeah, we thought you
so
just wandered off at that point. Just like, well, fuck it. They're talking about Electronic Arts. I'm out.
so you know what's
I go to
funny?
the bathroom.
What's funny is like we were talking about how EA doesn't want to do any of the remasters or remakes or whatever, which
Yeah.
blows my fucking mind because my friend just posted about Fallout 76.
Yep.
And how you can buy all these cosmetics, and I said they went full on retarded. I'm gonna just capitalize the EA inside the word retarded. They went full on retard, just like Tropic Thunder.
Tropical.
Yeah, Tropic
I was
Thunder.
gonna say Tropical Freeze. That's a Donkey Kong game.
Tropic.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Yeah,
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Mm.
And why the hell does EA not get this? Like, what they could stop monetizing Battlefront 2. They could let people just play that game, and then
Yeah.
sell us this old shit and make some money.
Well, you think why have they spent so much time and effort making Command and Conquer into a mobile game
But not.
when they could have just remade one of the earlier ones?
Yeah,
Well, look at
exactly. They could have. They could have made the same amount of money probably.
well, also, you know, 3 Star Wars games should have come out by now, and there's 0. So there's also that. Like,
Yeah. I'll tell you one game that you mentioned. One thing that I forgot to put in the notes. One game, if they remade it, I would buy in a heartbeat. The Dark Forces Star Wars games.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Star Wars Dark Forces and Star Wars Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. Heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never played them, but I've heard that they're really good.
Jedi Outcast is really good too.
Yeah. And Jedi Academy, all of them. Those games.
Right, yeah. Jedi Academy was
they're
awesome
better.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
They
They're
should
better than anything.
Well, fuck it. Just give me fucking KOTOR again too.
No,
Yeah.
give me.
I'll
I
rebuy
wanna-
that.
I
I'll
wanna-
buy that again.
They should remake Shadows of the Empire. I play that.
That's
That was
not.
like the only.
It's not a very
Hey.
good game.
How dare you?
No, there is
You
no way
weird?
that's better than Dark Forces Jedi Knight.
I never had a
PC.
PC growing up. Yeah, so I never played. I did play Fallout 1 and 2. Like, my compact Presario when I was like 16 years old could run fucking Fallout 1 and 2. So
Yeah.
I played the shit. Actually, Fallout 1 and 2. I prefer those over any of the new Fallout games. I just the isometric viewpoint. It's like, why haven't I played Wasteland 2 yet? It boggles my mind. I need to pick that game up, but
You should get
really should,
if you like isometric games, you should get Divinity Original Sin 2. It's on sale at the moment.
I should. I've been so fucking like I barely I play the genres that I play now have like shrunk in the 10. That was a really terrible sentence. I'm an English teacher, by the way. What I want to say is I dislike playing more genres than I think I like playing. Like, I don't play RTSs. I don't like card games. MOBAs are out. Anything online multiplayer is out. I don't like driving games or fighting games. It's just like, Jesus Christ, like, do I like video games? Like, I should really there was a time where I played more games, and I think you're right, Keith. Like, some of these I used to love isometric games. I think I should give them a shot. And I think if I play a game like Divinity 2 or Wasteland 2, I would remember like why I like those games. I need to make that jump. And they're not so expensive, right? I mean,
It's
like, it's on sale.
It's 30 pounds at the moment, so whatever that would be for you.
I should just do it because, yeah, back in the day, like anything that was isometric, I love.
Oh, as well. So if I see you're playing it online, I can just boot up my version and drop into your game, or vice versa.
Did you say online? I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
No, but dude, it's all right. It's not like
No.
it's not like online like you think.
No, if it's co-op with friends, I'm totally about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
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 And
It's
some of the elements in that game I've heard are balls to the wall hard. So it's easier to get through some of the things with a cohort of people.
Yeah, I should give it a kick. I'll check. I'm waiting for like the year end of like blow up PSN sales because they're gonna probably do like a couple. I remember when I got my PlayStation 4 in November. The Pro, because I bought my PlayStation 4 like super late. It was like a running joke on Podcast Reload.
Yeah.
This podcast that I produce weekly, like on time, like all the time. I just like I make some episodes.
When was the last episode recorded?
It's probably 2 months ago by now.
It's pathetic, yeah.
It's the episode
yeah.
where we trashed Andromeda.
Yeah.
You'll never get to hear it. It's never gonna be released online.
I have edited an hour of that podcast. we've actually never talked about this. The reason, like, Keith, your audio is so fucked. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened.
Is it just because that I was saying that the game isn't as bad as you thought, and you just thought, screw this guy? And just you're going through cutting out all of the bits where I actually say something positive.
Ever since Zencaster came out of beta, it's been worse, or at least I've had more problems with it. So basically what happened is I get all your MP3 files in Dropbox, right? I pull them out and throw them in GarageBand, and they'll automatically load from when they line up all of our audio from start to finish, right?
I saw the picture where you had yours and Matt's were like chunks like this, and then mine was.
Yeah, well, there was also the levels, like audio levels. There's a bit of like I had to do a lot of noise reduction and stuff. But for some reason, the length of the audio file is the same, but your audio doesn't line up with mine and Matt's, and I don't know what the issue is. So like I'll correct it, but then like it'll be fine for like 40 seconds, and then it'll be off again. So I don't understand how that works. Like I don't understand. I don't know what the problem is there. We don't really have to talk. So
I think like we were saying when you froze when we started talking about when we were slacking off. Well, we weren't slacking off. Highlighting some of the fundamental issues with Red Dead Redemption 2, your video slowed down. So I'm just going to say that when I was saying because you guys were saying nasty things about Mass Effect Andromeda, someone from EA hacked the file.
Yeah, they fucked it up.
That's probably what happened.
Matt, talking about Mass Effect, when you went off, Matt and I both admitted to ourselves that if EA released a remake of the original Mass Effect trilogy, we'd be buying it straight away.
Not even a remake, just a port. Just give me the fucking games on PS4. I'll buy it again.
Okay, see, I think that's where we differ. Like, I wouldn't just replay the same game again. If they remade them, I would go back to it. I need that extra that new coat of paint on it to get me back into the game.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
And again, talking about nostalgia and remaking and remastering, who did the remake of Shadow of the Colossus? Blue something? Blue.
Oh shit! What the fuck was their name?
Because they did the remake of Uncharted as well. Can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
it's Blue Point.
Blue Point. Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Oh, they've done like the Metal Gear Solid stuff. They did the God of War remasters. They did Uncharted. And then they did the Shadow of the Colossus remake. So they've done both. They've done remasters and remakes. I don't remember. This must have been a month after Shadow of the Colossus came out. They had said they're working on their next project.
Yeah.
And they said it's a remake. It's going to be a remake of another game. It's not going to be a remaster collection or trilogy collection or anything. But I'm really curious to know what that is. I don't like. At first, I thought it was Eco because they probably have some of the same assets, and they've already done Shadow of the Colossus, so maybe they could just streamline the whole process and get that game out and make some cash. I'd fucking play Eco again with a new coat of paint on it.
Well, I'm just thinking because I don't understand why someone isn't throwing money at that studio.
They're great. They're great.
Remake this game because they've proven that they can do adventure games. They've proven that they can do kind of third-person action adventure. I still don't get why someone isn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's not only they can remaster games and remake them. So like they're a great studio. They've really got their shit together. I'm curious to see what their new whatever project they're working on now. I wonder when they're gonna maybe at Sony's 2019 E3 press conference they'll drop the bomb.
I thought we already agreed that Sony wasn't going to be at 2019.
No, that was a joke. Sorry.
Oh.
A joke. I don't even think it's. I don't know if that constitutes.
I just thought you were wandering off. I was like, wait a minute. No, that was like the beginning of this conversation. They're not going to be there next year.
Yeah. remasters or ports. I just bought Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of Night, and the Rondo of Blood
How do you like
pack
it?
on PS4. I haven't played it. I've never beaten Symphony of the Night.
I've never gotten all the way through the Upside Down Castle.
Yeah, I've never even gotten close. So technically, I'm still in my first playthrough.
Technically, I've
So
beaten it.
that's why I bought it. It's like it's coming out in PS4. That package is so bare bones. It's
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah.
It's terrible. Like the package itself is it's just a port with like the bare minimum of effort put
Well,
in.
that's what I was
into
gonna
stuff.
say. You saw the reviews, right? Like that's one of the reasons I didn't buy it was
It's
because
bad. Yeah, it's
Konami
not.
put
Like the
Konami
it's
put
fucking Konami.
no
Yeah.
effort into
Nope.
getting this onto modern hardware. It's like,
Have you seen the title screen as well? Like switching between the
yes,
games. It's
like
like
what the
the
fuck
ugliest
are they
shit I've ever.
doing?
I've ever.
Yeah, I don't
Why
know.
does it spin? There's only two choices.
I don't know.
It should just whatever. But
We're nitpicking.
I bought it,
Yeah.
and I think it sold pretty well. It was decently priced.
Well, I mean, it's the only way that you can get Symphony of the Night on PS4 right now. So
Okay, so I don't know how long we still want to go on, but we're coming up on maybe the PlayStation 5 is coming out in the next 2 years. Are we gonna have to do this shit again? Are we gonna have to rebuy everything again?
I hope not. I hope that Microsoft showing that they're willing to offer backwards compatibility, and if you own the disc and you throw it in, it'll load. I'm hoping that that makes Sony aware of the fact that that's a thing, and people will
Yeah,
abandon you for that stuff. Like if I don't have those features in the PS5, I might not buy a PS5.
right. And I love how I'm so glad that I'm not glad that they keep making mistakes, but it's like Microsoft will do something really terrible, or PlayStation do something terrible, and Microsoft one ups them, and they're like, oh shit, we need to work on our stuff. So obviously, competition is a good thing. But
Right.
they keep like doing this, and it makes everything better for the consumer because um, they want
I
their
can see them doing something different. I can see them saying, "Here's your online streaming service.
Yeah.
So PlayStation Now, but you've got, and that's the only way that you can do it.
Hmm.
So if you want to play all games, you pay, what was it, 14.99 a month,
Right.
and you get PlayStation Now, and that's how you do it. And if you've got disc-based games, you can get fucked.
Well, you can download PlayStation Now games to your hard drive now, so you don't have to stream
Yeah.
the shit.
And you
Which
can
is
do
smart.
it and you can do it on PC too.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
but I think that's exactly how it's going to be. There's not
But
going to be
this,
backwards compatibility as such.
yeah, the selection has to be there though. Like if I'm gonna be just spending $15 a month or $20 a month, like the selection has to be there. Otherwise, I'm not gonna do it. You know,
So Final Fantasy VII,
has to be available because I cannot play that any other way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's the same thing you talk about the PlayStation Classic and stuff. Like the selection has to be there.
Right. Exactly.
People consider it, there anymore, or at least at this point. I know we're kind of getting off the rails here. I don't even know what we're talking about. Just
All right.
talking.
Gentlemen, do we want to get into beers? What is the best beers that we've had for 2018? We started with beers, we'll end with beers. I think that's a good roundabout.
Yep.
Matt, do you want to talk about the most disgusting sounding beer that I've heard for 2018?
It is the most disgusting sounding beer, but it is also the most delightful I've had all year. It is a Lagunitas brandy barrel aged imperial milk stout.
Mm.
So I was expecting to hate this. Like my wife and I went to a local pub here, and they had 25 Lagunitas beers on tap for Lagunitas' 25th anniversary. And one of the beers that they had on tap was their brandy barrel-aged Imperial Milk Stout. And the lady that came over that was waiting on us insisted that I try this beer. And I kept telling her I do not like barrel-aged. I don't want to try this beer. I don't think it's
You
going
don't
to be
like
good.
barrel aged, really?
Not too often. And
Okay.
she kept insisting that, like, no, you need to try this. So I said, all right, fuck it, I'll get it. And we did a flight. So one of the beers that I had on the flight was the brandy barrel aged Imperial Milk Stout, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I had the little 5 ounce glass, and then I ordered a full proper 12-ounce glass,
Mm-hmm.
and it went down, and it was smooth, and it was maple, it was toffee, it was a bunch of different flavors that I didn't expect, and it was really enjoyable. I have no other way to put it. Like it was a good beer.
What made it imperial? Did it invade the other beers and
No,
plant its flag?
the imperial probably comes in from the fact that it was like 6.5%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's what that tends to mean now. Is like
imperial
for
means
example, like
higher ABV. Yeah,
well, I think the imperial stout. I think it was like like a Russian imperial family. I might be totally wrong about this, but they preferred their heavier, uh, more higher alcohol content beers, and so I don't know who is it brewing it, but they were in brewing these stouts at way higher alcohol content for these imperial family.
right.
So that's why the imperial now means upping, kind of like turning all the dials up to 11 type of thing, and way higher alcohol content. I think that's where it comes from. So then they use that tagline for anything now: Imperial IPA, Imperial,
Imperial stouts. Yeah,
like Rasputin. That's a great Imperial stout.
Old Rasputin. Yeah, it's a
Old Rasputin,
that's
yeah,
North Coast Brewing.
yeah. I love that. I love that one. That's the first Imperial stout I've ever had, actually.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I quite like it. I mean, I don't often in Japan. There's just not a lot of Imperial style beers, just because it's just I just think Japanese people in general don't like the heavier stuff.
Right.
So you just don't see it a lot.
But yeah, it's not something I would drink on an everyday basis. They happen to
So
have it. They happen to have it on tap on a limited basis, um, and it was pointed out to me that like the only time that I would ever get to try it was if I did it that night. So
sure.
I said, you know, all right, I'll go for it, and I was highly impressed. I was blown away. I had a couple glasses, and the fact that I could even drink a couple back to back was impressive.
Mm. What was the
So
alcohol content again?
it was like 6.4.
6.4. Okay.
Yeah. So
All
Keith,
right.
or
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
you actually
he
all
had
right.
that
So
dig.
the thing that it's a milk stout, right? So it kills a lot of like the barrel aged like harshness.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If I see one, I won't be running out to get 'em. I'm not a big stout drinker.
I know you're not.
If there's rugby on and I'm in the pub, I'll have a couple of pints of Guinness, and that'll be about it.
Okay.
Right, for me, I had a Celebration Amber Ale, which was called the Valletta Celebration Amber Ale. Um, this was when my wife and I were on holiday in Malta, and the capital of Malta, Valletta, is the European capital of culture for 2018. So they made a celebration ale at a bar called The Brew, and it was freaking brilliant. It came in a proper Stein handled glass, and it was just a very, very hoppy but flavoursome, slightly bitter amber ale. It was so good, I had to. And that's after the 2 pints of Pilsner that I'd had as well. But yeah, that's my favourite, and it could also be slightly because um, I was on holiday with my wife and we were having a really nice time that kind of elevated the quality of the beer. But if anyone ever watching this ends up on the island of Malta, go to the Brew in Salima. It's a really cool bar, and they have, I think they brew 12 different beers in rotation. So they've got four available at any one time, but they brew 12. Um, I haven't tried all 12 because obviously whenever I've gone, there's only been the four that they've had. But when I've tried 8 of the 12, and they've all been really good. And they only produce small batches as well. At the end of the bar, they've actually got the copper kettles where they're steeping the hops, and the food's great as well. Just a very nice place. Another thing I'd like to give a shout out to Beaverton Brewery Raygun American Style IPA. Now, I thought this was actually an American brewery when I first saw it, but it's not. They're based in northwest London. But this is a American style IPA that's really enjoyable drinking and doesn't taste like you're drinking potpourri. So it's hoppy, but it's not double hopped, and it's not dry hopped, and it's not triple hopped. It's quite citrusy and again slightly kind of cheesy. But I saw it on tap, and they've got their own glass with these little alien heads on,
That's awesome.
which is very cool. So yeah, that's my two choices. Evan.
Oh, are we doing two choices?
Yeah, I think no, you can do however many you want, but I think we saw on Twitter you've probably gone to the funkiest bar out of the three of us so far this year, which is that one in those shipping containers near to you.
Oh, that place? Yeah, that's it's like a there's this giant like empty plot of land near Kyoto Station, and they just put like these shipping containers down, and then stuck like bars and restaurants in each of the shipping containers, and then just kind of made it an open air bar area where you could sit at picnic tables and then go to the shipping containers and order. Really, really random. It had actually been around since February. I had only found out about it, I think, in September or October. I wish I would have known earlier. Sit outside in Kyoto to eat and drink. It's most often inside, so it's nice they have something like that. For now, I talked to one of the bartenders at one of the places, and he said it's like the land is on lease for like 2 years, so I don't know if they're just gonna move to another area or just like pack it all up. It's nice because they're in shipping containers, so they can easily pack it up, send it somewhere else. But yeah.
They actually have a whole district here in town. It's what we call container park.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all shipping
That's
containers.
pretty cool. Yeah, it's a really cool place. There I actually just had this bad boy, the Red Star Sapporo beer in a giant bottle is what I had there. But the beer I'm going to highlight this year, I'm actually going to change it from what's on uh, our notes, is a beer called Mario, actually, from Kyoto Brewing Company. So the name itself, I think the kanji is like, it means like cone or flower
Okay.
of like a plant, and then O just means person or man. But it's a take on the famous plumber from Nintendo, and I think the reason is because Kyoto Brewing is actually like a 6 minute walk from Nintendo headquarters. Um, so actually, to get there, I take the closest station to Nintendo, and then get off there and walk to Kyoto Brewery and drink, and then go back. So you're like standing on the platform waiting for the train. You just look over and just see Nintendo headquarters right there, just staring at you. It's pretty cool. Um, but it's a Belgian style double IPA. Um, I guess they've been trying for a long time to like conceptualize this beer, and they finally did it. I think it's a limited release. I've had it several times on draft at the brewery itself, and it is like it's a great beer. And what they did in this one, they focused on the yeast and the hops. They've kept the maltiness of it like relatively, it's not that pronounced. But man, it is like super citrusy. Like it's fruity. It's got such a fruity character to it, and it's a bit spicy. And it's a wait, how many? It's quite high. Yeah, 7.5%, and
Jesus. All right.
52 IBUs.
That's pretty.
So,
Yeah.
and but what I love about it is like the hops isn't it the bitterness of the hops isn't that overpowering because it balances it out with the more fruity, the citrusy, spicy character of the yeast. So it's one of those beers that's dangerous because it's highly drinkable, but also
really strong.
really really strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
So
dangerous. That's a summertime beer.
yep, yeah. And the first time I had it was in the summer. I think it was at a beer festival. I was like, Mario. I was like, I have never heard of that beer from them, and they're like, oh no, it's just like it just came out this year. And then
Yeah.
I got like a brand, like a snifter of it, and man, like that fucking smell, that fruity smell, like hit me, and like I drank it, and it was like the flavors are dancing in my mouth. It tasted like if purple and turquoise had a taste. That's exactly what purple and turquoise would taste like.
Prince is rolling over in his grave right now.
I think I was high. No,
Were you were you smoking the?
yeah, actually, I think I mixed the time that I dropped after I drank beer. I'm just kidding, but no, it was a standout beer. I love my IPA, and they did a great job with that specific one. And
Dude,
I hope
the fact that it's
they
called
continue to make
Mario
it.
just fits this whole, podcast, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
am, dude, I'm
if you
looking.
guys ever come, if you guys ever come to Japan, we have to go to Kyoto. Stop at Nintendo first, then go drink some beers. Be awesome.
I'm trying to find Beavertown Brewing here in the States, and I can't find any, dude. It's frustrating.
Beavertown?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the ray gun that
Oh, right,
Keith
right,
was talking about. Like that
right.
sounds like an IPA that I would love. The way that he's
Yeah,
describing it.
yeah, it does. I mean, I'm kind of screwed in Japan just because the variety of imported craft beers here is just not.
Well,
It's the selection is not that wide.
It comes in a really cool can as well.
yeah, dude, the guy's head is in the old 50s
Yeah, the bottle, and they've
style.
got
Yeah.
a flying saucer shooting ray guns at the ground. It is, yeah, cool.
All right, I love it.
Mm.
Guys, we've had an eventful night.
Morning.
Or
Afternoon.
yeah, or morning for Keith, waking up at 6 a.m.
I've been
to
up for 3 hours.
come talk about video games.
I'll be getting up for it's the same time I get off of work. So this has been somewhat more enjoyable than work.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, we'll have to talk about this off camera because it's probably not prevalent.
Right.
But yeah, this is the Beerumverate. It's been 2018 year in review, nostalgia, best beers of 2018, and GOTYs. This is going to be in 3 parts apparently, since my PC crashed twice.
Mm.
But I'm glad this last video went for a full hour. So you've got 2 full-hour videos that you can watch from us. If you like it, comment, like, subscribe. We'll be back. We'll post this shit when we can.
Are we supposed to do the YouTube like and subscribe shit up front?
Yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah, it should probably be up front. But if they made it this far,
Yeah.
hopefully they'll like and subscribe. All right.
Yeah, smash the likes.
Peace.
Peace.